So the biggest storyline this season so far has probably been the conversation around ratings. Yes, it's true. Ratings have dipped for the league around this time, and that's been an ongoing trend really since the KD and Warriors era. But the focus on that particular conversation has taken away from something that I think has been extremely impressive and really should be dominating most of NBA discourse. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic are both literally playing the best basketball of their careers right now. Now, these aren't just two superstar level players reaching their peak. They're two players who don't even make sense in the first place. We're literally watching a point center and an absolute demigod both at their best. It's like watching a video game at this point, and all y'all want to talk about is ratings. I want to start with Jokic because what he's doing could end up going down as simply one of the best regular season performances of all time. The Nuggets got off to a bit of a rough start, but it does look like they're starting to button things up a little bit as they're figuring out some lineup stuff. But regardless of that, I don't think there's any one singular player that's been more valuable to their team than Jokic. The on-off numbers for him are staggering. There aren't a ton of contention level teams right now that struggle as much as the Nuggets do when their best guy is out. It makes sense because the entire offense literally has to flow through Jokic in order for it to work. He is by far the best in three major statistical categories for this team with his rebounding, passing, and scoring. I never want to make basketball about someone quote unquote carrying their team, but it's been impressive seeing Jokic's impact. I haven't even gotten to the numbers yet. At the point of this vid being dropped, he's putting up 30.9 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 9.9 assists, and he's 55% from the floor and 49% from three. If that isn't the most video game stat line for a center, I don't know what is. That's like something that Chris Smoove would put together. And it all comes in the flow of the offense. Guys averaging near triple doubles over the last few seasons always end up being subject to debate, but the Nuggets offense works because of that. They're 7th in offensive rating and 3rd in overall efficiency. They're getting great shots and making great shots, and a lot of that is due to Jokic's own efficiency and his unreal playmaking. Now let's move on to Giannis. I've got a trillion videos on my feed over the last couple of weeks talking about him, and here I am again, right? I've been so impressed by his elite all-around game this season. The scoring has been there, and I know we love talking about the improved mid-range shooting, but the passing and playmaking stuff has been unreal. He's always been one of the elite playmakers in the league and has been generally underrated by that over his last few seasons. But this time around, he's putting people on absolute notice. He's been around 6 assists per game over this season and last, and without a true stomp down playmaking point guard on the roster, Giannis has been the best on the Bucks roster at that. Point Giannis has officially arrived, and like I said earlier, he's matching that with a more confident shooting attack that's been on full display all year long. A lot of times Giannis is talked about based on his limitations. Fans are always tempted and a lot of times give into conversations surrounded by what Giannis can't do. While some things may be true, we're at a point where the only conversation around him should be an appreciation of his unreal all-around game. He is literally transforming into one of the most complete players in the entire league. Think about how dominant he was in the finals back in 2021. Yep, right now he's playing even better than that. Both Giannis and Jokic have reignited that best player in the league conversation, one that's been pretty wide open over the last few seasons. I really think we're at a point where these two are by far the two top dogs in the league, and they're reaching a level that seemed crazy to even imagine back when they were both on the come up. When they were both in their developmental stages, the projections about their potential and ceilings were so out of this world, it almost seemed ridiculous. The fact that they are actually living up to and exceeding those expectations is wild. So while we've made every conversation on the socials about how bad the league is right now, let's also talk about how we're getting these two guys playing at peak level. And the scary thing is, this probably isn't even their best version. They could get even better from here.